Hi guys, hope you guys are having a good day. Today we are going to be taking a look at what is currently going on with the airlines, what their demands are, what is their projection for the next few months, and how they are doing. So if you guys are thinking about investing in airlines, since airlines are at an all-time low right now, I hope that these informations will help you guys decide on when to buy. We are especially going to be looking at the four major airlines to see what their progress are and to see what their projection is from now till probably around the end of July. So I hope that this news can help you guys feel a little bit safer about flying and traveling to other countries or to other cities. And so let's get into it. Okay, so first, flying again. Actually, the TSA, which is the Transportation Security Administration, actually reports more check-throughs through their airports. So yesterday there were 190,000 people flying yesterday, as opposed to 2.3 million people flying the same day last year. But if we compare it to last month, then that is actually a big improvement. If we scroll down here to around early April, we can see that flights were around 97,000 on April 7th. But as the month continued, things started getting easier, and then it starts to hit the 100,000s, and then 200,000 in early May. And now we're getting around 200,000 people every day. So that's actually a big improvement. So it seems like that the demand for flying is actually a lot better than predicted. Last week, David Calhoun said that we might not even hit 25% of flying capacity in late September. But as you guys will see here, some of the actual airlines are projecting a lot better numbers. So today we are going to be going through the four major airlines, okay, and Delta, United, SouthWest, and American. And we are going to be seeing what their expectations are and how they are planning to manage their finances from now till September-ish. And before we continue, if you guys like this content, please hit the like button below. If you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe if you like my content. I'm trying to hit 300 subscribers by the end of June, and I'm at 142 right now, so hopefully I can make it. I think I can if I just keep working. So let's go. Okay, so the first airline that we're going to be looking at is United Airlines. They said that they are actually seeing reduced cancellations and increasing demand. They actually filed a report with the SEC saying that they expected 25% capacity by the end of July, right? Which is actually a lot better than what Boeing CEO David Calhoun said. David Calhoun said that we might not even hit 25% by September, but in July is actually pretty ambitious. But they're actually not that far off. Their numbers and their expectations are actually pretty consistent with the TSA's check-in point. So we might actually see 25% flying by the end of July. So that's actually very good news. United Airlines stated that their expected capital expenditure for the year is actually going to be less than $4.5 billion, which is another good news because they got $5 billion in bailouts from the government. And if they are only expecting to spend less than 4.5 billion, and then they have some leeway until next year, and hopefully things get better by next year. All right, so definitely they won't go bankrupt by September. That's something that most people are fairly confident about. United will not be going bankrupt by September. Their estimate next year is $2 billion in expenditures, and hopefully $500 million in 2022. United Airlines and other airlines are actually implementing a lot of other regulations to help with the COVID-19 pandemic. Right? So these regulations are, this regulation can be easily summed up in this infomercial. And so, number one, providing individual hand sanitizers for customers. Number two, wearing face masks and providing face masks for the customers. Number three, removing onboard items such as pillows, blankets, and in-flight magazines because those things can get pretty germy and they are reused all the time. So they are removing those things. Number four, disinfecting high-touch areas like trays, tables, and armrests before boarding. So they are making sure to clean everything before boarding. Which begs the question, did they not clean it before boarding, before this time? Maybe. Number 5, reducing contact between flight attendant and customers during snack and beverage services. Number 6, ensuring aircraft cleanliness standards meet or exceeds the CDC guidelines. Number 7, which is the one that everyone is looking forward to, and it is applying social distancing in seating procedures. So for United, they are limiting the middle seat usage. And the key word is limiting, right? So that means that they are trying to minimize as much as possible. Doesn't mean that they will ban the middle seat. It means they are limiting. There's a difference. Right? Moving customers seated closely together, boarding from back to front by rows after pre-boarding, boarding in smaller groups, and deplaning in groups of 5 rows at a time to reduce crowding. And they're also using electrostatic spraying to disinfect aircraft to be completed in all flights by mid-June. So that's not in effect yet. And number 9, using state-of-the-art hospital-grade high-efficiency filters to circulate air and remove up to 99.7% of airborne particles. And this HEPA filter is actually very, very important. So these HEPA filters are actually very important because they circulate the air around the cabin so that you don't get any stale air where the virus could actually stay and linger for a long time. So and these HEPA filters are very important in terms of reducing contamination and infection. I do know that all major big airplanes already have the HEPA filters in place, so that is something that you guys can be semi-relieved about. Oh yeah, and finally, United Airlines is offering a free flight for medical volunteers to California. And so if you are from somewhere else and you want to volunteer in California, they'll be giving you guys free flights. And I'll have the links below for all the medical volunteers who actually want to get those free flights to go to some of the other cities that would need help. So moving on. Next is Delta. Delta is adding 100 flights to their June schedule. So they are actually increasing the amounts of airplanes that are flying. They are actually resuming flights to several domestic and international cities. Cities like China and Nigeria are actually off the list right now. It depends on the government regulations on if they can fly there or not. Their Q2 projection is 15% of 2019. So they're estimating that they will go back to 15% of what they were in 2019. Which is actually a lot better than the 5% that they had like a month ago. So we are increasing. We are seeing that flights are being flown more often, and the airlines are doing better, and they are slowly going back up. And Delta, like other airlines, are also doing the new regulations in terms of the face mask, the middle aisle, and then the HEPA filters. They're all there. And finally, if you are a medical volunteer, Delta is offering free flights for medical volunteers to New York, Georgia, Louisiana, and Michigan. You guys need to go to these websites and sign up, and then you guys will be able to claim your free flights to these cities if you guys want to volunteer there. Next, we have SouthWest Airlines. SouthWest Airlines is actually the strongest. It is the strongest out of the 4 airlines to survive this crisis. Their stock prices have only dropped by half, while other stocks have actually dropped by 75 to 80%. So for them, they claim to have small improvements. The reason why they have small improvements is because they weren't as affected as some of the other airlines. Some of the airlines were disastrous. So they are seeing small improvements. They're actually seeing more bookings than cancellations, which actually makes sense because most people canceled last month, so less people are canceling now. So their operating expense in May is actually at 10% of what it was last year, and they expect to be at 15% of June last year. So in June, they expect to be at 15% capacity, which is getting better and which is very similar to the estimates of Delta and in United Airlines. So their numbers are still very consistent with the TSA numbers. Southwest Airlines has a lot of liquidity. They actually have $13 billion in liquid money. So they projected that they can last up to 20 months. Currently, they are burning about $25 million per day. every day. $25 million gone. Uh, they said that hopefully by June they can reduce that to the low 20 million. But every day, right now, as it stands, every day is $25 million gone. They're burning that. And they're actually pretty much the same with every other airlines. They're burning through a lot of money. All right, and finally, American Airlines. American Airlines is actually the weakest out of the 4 airlines that we are just talking about. So for them, they have actually decided to bring back all of its parked Embraer 145 and 175 regional aircraft. So the difference between the Embraer airplanes and the Boeing airplanes that the other 3 airlines have is that the Embraer is a 50-seater, as opposed to a 130-seater. This makes sense since they are seeing probably a tenth of their customers right now. It makes sense why they would switch to a smaller plane. This is 1/3 of the size of an ordinary plane. However, the difference between the smaller planes and the bigger planes of Boeing is that they lack the HEPA filters of larger planes. Again, the HEPA filters are the ones that circulate the air throughout the cabin so that you don't get any airborne diseases and any airborne infections. So that is their plan right now. Obviously, they're in a very dire situation, and they're just trying to come out of this thing ahead. Alright guys, that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys like the content, please hit the like button. If you guys haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to hit the 300 subscribers by the end of June, and I currently have 142 at the time of recording. So I need 158 more. 158 and counting. So let's go. And I hope you guys like this video. Please let me know if you guys want more videos like this. So until next time, bye.